do everything but prostrate for Buhari. That is the tale of the Shagamu-born UK heavyweight boxer, Anthony Joshua. A wonderful one for Alexander Usyk, a bad one for we, the supporter of Anthony Joshua. And that's how we start the show today. My name is still Adeji Adeboale. I have the old crew with me, the boxing gang, the NFL gang. I start with Yukachi. We're still new to Soto Sport. Airing live on a band radio scope and concurrently on YouTube and all possible podcasts you can think of. And I want you guys to introduce yourself. I'm going to start with Yukachi.
Sports fan, it's always a pleasure being here. Patrick Mahomes can't stop creating and making records. The 49ers have a big game this weekend. I guess I'm a little bit jittery, but stay tuned for a fantastic show.
All right, perfect. Shay.
Hello, sport fans. You're welcome to today's show. What a eventful weekend, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy today's show. Welcome.
I'm pretty sure she's going to enjoy his weekend anyways.
Hi, my sports family. It's great to be back. And as I'll always say, sit back, relax, and enjoy this loaded edition on the best sports station in the world.
All right, perfect. Olali.
Yeah, hello, sporting fans around the world. 3 losses in 4 games for United fans. We've woken up from our dreams. It's back to reality, and we are going to digest it.
All right, perfect. Sometimes the goals just don't help you. But where do we start from? We start from other sports today, and we're going to be starting from Sir Lewis Hamilton recording 100th Grand Prix win. This is amazing. But what's more amazing about this is the fact that Max Verstappen started from the 28th or the last person in the race and ended second. Kachi, you want to shed a little bit of more light into this?
Yes, amazing race in the Russian Grand Prix that held in Sochi. The race, Lando Norris started on pole for McLaren with Lewis Hamilton starting 4th. If you remember the incident in the last Grand Prix where Max Verstappen almost killed Lewis Hamilton, he got a three grid penalty for that, and Red Bull decided to change their power unit, so he had to start at the bottom, at the very last. What makes this race really amazing was Lando Norris was on pace to win, shielding himself safely against Lewis Hamilton until the rain started. And everybody knows Lewis is the king of the wet surface. Wow. Unfortunately, the young man's inexperience cost him. Lewis overtook him, but the driver of the day, and I must give credit to that young man, is Max Verstappen. Coming all the way from 20th to finish second was amazing. Right now, Lewis leads the Drivers' Championship by just 2 points, but it's still all to race for.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Kachi, for that. Shay, I'm going to jump straight to you. I'm going to attack you right now. I know you predicted this, so I'm pretty not surprised. And I follow Usyk closely through his training regime. And we knew there was more problem for AJ when Evander Holyfield joined the crew of Usyk for this match. And people tend not to see these, right? Bad, terrible combination for AJ on the night. Eat like a woman, could not use his power, could not use the advantages that he had. He negated them, and it was battered. By 12 rounds, he was begging for the man to finish.
Yes, definitely. It was quite a disappointing one for the AJ camp. But looking into this about some months ago, like you rightly mentioned, we saw it as a possible banana peel, right? But we still expected Anthony Joshua to enter into this bout and to use his own opportunities. Make use of your jab. You have a better reach. You have the weight also. You can try as much as possible to weigh down this guy.
Yeah.
Even though we cannot forget about the skillfulness of Alexander Usyk. that actually showed in this bout. It showed that he studied Anthony Joshua quite well before this bout, and he never stayed in one position. He kept moving around. He kept changing his position. That was very, very, very effective for Usyk. Apart from that, he changed. Usyk is a fighter that actually studies his opponent. So he starts slowly. He uses first 2, 3 rounds to study you and also to let you throw your big punches. But this particular bout, he came out with fire. And I guess that actually surprised AJ. And I think that was a turning point for this bout.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Olayinka, I know you have 1 or 2 things to say about this. What's the way forward for AJ now? Because even with a rematch, I don't see him winning this guy. I don't see it, honestly.
First of all, I'd like to say big congratulations to Usyk for a well thought out fight, and you just can't take anything away from Usyk. I mean, when you look at his records, in 2018, he became the 4th boxer in history to hold the 4 titles simultaneously: the WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO, after Bernard Hopkins, Crawford, and Taylor. And in 2021, June 2021, he was said to be the 4th best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. So a lot of people underestimated him. And guess what?
At their own peril.
At their own peril. And guess what? He surprised them. Now, crossing over to our AJ boy. I mean, AJ got his fight plan wrong. I mean, he is known to be the 2-3 punch guy. But in this fight, he played into the hands of Usyk. He wanted to be smart about it and wasn't smart enough. And I mean, you can't beat a master at his game. Usyk right now is the tactical king when it comes to boxing. So AJ now, he has to go back into his drawing board. He needs to take advantage of his major assets, which is his strength. So in the next fight, his height, his strength. In the next fight, he should not think about outboxing Usyk. He should just go for the strength parts. And that was what Derek Chiroza did against Usyk, although Usyk eventually won. But Chiroza was always chasing Usyk around the court. AJ needs to do that in the rematch, and things might change.
All right, perfect. That's exactly what Tyson Fury said before the match that AJ needed to do. Kachi, I know you in the back of your mind, you want to say something about AJ. I'm not going to give Wally that joy anyways. I'm going to give you.
Yes, I thanks for that, Debo. I think in a nutshell, let's call a spade and not a family implement. AJ has only enjoyed the usual British hype, and he was touted as the next best thing after sliced bread, simply because he beat an aging Vladimir Klitschko. You need to ask yourself, what are the caliber of people AJ has had to, defend his titles against? These were fights he should easily win or expected to have easily won. Instead, he struggled heavily against Andy Ruiz. And I mean, if you listen to Yinka, who tells you that maybe boxing is becoming a business, and they probably planned that, you will probably say so. But I think that AJ has been overhyped because, number one, haven't seen him exposed by really underrated fighters. Technically,
over and over again.
My biggest disappointment was that when the ovation was really loud, he should have given us the fight of the decade in fighting Tyson Fury. Now we may never get to see that opportunity again, because I think even if he has a rematch clause, which I understand he does, he will still not be able to beat Alexander Usyk. You people should just get ready for 9 months of social media trolling from Tyson Fury every day, going to knock on AJ's house to remind him that he lost.
To Alexander Usyk. All right, perfect. And of course, in the touting, or should I say the key point player for in the NBA rating of the players, we had the King fall off to number 3, Giannis Antetokounmpo moving up, and Steph Curry being at number 5, Luka Doncic being at number 4. And honestly, of course, LeBron cannot be number one forever, so it's expected. But Olale, how come Steph is at number 5? That's just my own. I don't agree with it. I stand to be corrected. Maybe you can correct me.
Well, it's a rating, and it was done. I think it was done by ESPN.
Yeah.
These are human beings behind it. Opinions will always differ.
Okay, what's your own opinion?
Giannis number 1, probably because he won the championship.
Yeah,
I might give him that,
so.
but probably I don't think he's the best player. If I'm to go for me, I think like I do in any sports, I just don't use championship to measure. I think KD. I think KD is the best player in the NBA right now. He's number 1. He's unplayable. He could virtually do everything now. LeBron probably because of age. I might probably put Giannis in number 2 for now. Kawhi Leonard is injured. I don't think I can put him ahead of anybody. I'll put LeBron 3 and probably Joel Embiid in number 4 as for me.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Steph, probably because of the James Harden record when it comes to the playoffs. Probably that's the reason why. James Harden is actually very debatable. James Harden has some monster season. I think he has won the scoring championship like probably 2 times. I'm not sure. Kachi, I'm starting to be corrected. It's like I said, some of these things are Steph 5. I think is fair.
Okay,
it's fair. You can see it's fair. Yeah.
Okay, for me, Steph is the next best thing after sliced bread. I'm trying to push my head to the side for people watching us on YouTube, so you can see the king. You see him? That's James LeBron. He's number 1 ever. Of course, the LA Clippers have come out to say they are not sure when Kawhi Leonard is going to come back from his injury. No time frame right now. Kachi, what does that say for LA Clippers going to the next season? If you don't have that best player ready and no time frame for it. This is not last season.
It tells me that Kawhi Leonard and his agents are very, very smart. Because what they did was to secure the bag, even though they knew that he was not going to play for
a long time.
They opted out of his last year and got a renewed 4-year deal, which practically guarantees him, really good money.
Yeah.
But it's pretty disappointing that in a year when the LA Clippers will be moving to their own arena, no longer become the basement boys at the Staples Center. Their marquee player who they traded every single draft pick they had for the next 5 years to acquire would not be suiting up for them. I think Kawhi will not play next year, especially if the season begins to unravel, like the Warriors season unraveled when Klay Thompson and Steph Curry were out for a while. If towards the end of the season they are doing sub 500 or just at the 500 and maybe ranked 9th or 10th in the Western Conference, he may decide to come back. On what it portends for the LA Clippers, it basically just means whoever did that business should probably have his bonuses rescinded, because everybody knew Kawhi has always been injury prone. Pick up all that draft capital to get him is beginning to look like a bad deal to me.
All right, perfect. Now, of course, the Golden State Warrior owner, Joe Lacob, has been fined $50,000 because of his tantrum that he throwed at Ben Simmons, that he can play, but he cannot do well. And the Draymond is much better than him. And of course, but I feel everybody's entitled to their own opinion, anyways. And of course, like I'm going to come to you now. Klay Thompson is making progress in the rehab, and there's a date that could possibly come back for December 25th. What does this say for the Golden State Warriors when Klay Thompson comes back? It's going to get more interesting, obviously.
Honestly, I'm personally excited about that news. And apart from the coach of Golden State, I think the next most excited person will be Steph Curry. Yeah. And you just have to give it to Steph. I mean, 32 points average last season without Klay Thompson. He had a lot of responsibilities on his shoulders. And we know he and Clay, they have like a telepathic understanding, like brothers. And I can imagine every day, I can't imagine the number of calls he puts through to Clay Thompson. Hey, bro, are you okay? Are you getting better? Because he just can't wait for him to come back so that they can replay those years, those golden years. Clay Thompson is going to come back. He's going to get better, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. That's the only thing. When you go hard for that long, we never can tell what is going to bring back. You know?
Yeah, it might not be the same again. However, we shouldn't expect too much. We shouldn't expect too much. We expect him to gradually reintegrate into the team. Obviously, someone has been playing his role, so it's going to take a while for him to get back to his best. If he ever gets back to his best. But it's a good one for basketball. It's a good one for the Golden State Warriors, and hopefully it might have one more title in him.
All right, perfect. Title I don't know about, but of course I'm excited for him. For just for the sake of it, this is a guy that has not played since 2019, if I'm not wrong, and he was still nominated for All Stars for 2 consecutive years. That just goes to show you how good Clay is. And of course, I'm gonna come to you, Kachi. Ben Simmons. What trade is happening for this guy? What trade? It seems Kobe said this guy, if he can put his head down and do the right thing, it could be the next big thing. And this is a story of all talent, no hard work, and like the talent is going down the drain. There's not so much respect associated with this guy. This is the kind of guy that if he actually puts his head down, it could be one of the greats. It could be.
Yeah, and you're right. But I think what has been is the bane of Ben Simmons' career, really, like you rightly said, has been his attitude towards getting better during the offseason. I recently saw a video of Russell Westbrook working on his jumper because he probably knows that those kind of chances may be the only shots he gets when he plays with his current Lakers. And this is a man in his mid-30s. Simmons is still in his 20s, which is in his peak year, and probably one of the best. I won't call him a two-way because he cannot shoot the ball, but one of the best defenders and rim defenders out there. But his ability or his desire to get better has been questionable. That is why it's been very difficult to get a deal done for him. Right now, you hear the current Sixers GM, because they were asking for the moon to trade Ben Simmons, and even though Ben Simmons had told them, I'm not playing for you guys, deal with my agent. But right now, because of what the Sixers are asking for, it's becoming very difficult to ship him. 2 teams would have been ideal, in my opinion, for Ben Simmons to go to. One would have been the Warriors, especially with the uncertainty surrounding Klay Thompson. Immediately make them a better upgrade than they are having been at that position. The next one, and probably even the best overall, would be trading Kyrie Irving for Ben Simmons. But Kyrie has come out to say,
it's good to retire.
I will retire on the spot.
Yeah.
And let's not forget that the players are now so strong that I understand that KD has vetoed the trade of Kyrie Irving. So that leaves Ben Simmons now likely to go anywhere just because he doesn't want to play the Sixers, but not because he's going to a championship contending team. Right now, is there any other place for him? It's as the more you know, I know as much as you know regarding that trade. Let me put it that way.
All right, guys, and unfortunately, I know less.
Can I just say a quick one on Ben Simmons? I mean,
quickly.
I doubt if any reputable team will want him because I'm sorry to say, he has a bad attitude. I mean, news just coming in said that. Let me learn. News just coming in said that the top players in Philly 76ers, Joel Embiid and Harris, they wanted to travel to LA to go and see him and probably have a discussion with him on coming back. He said they should not bother. I mean, that's disrespect for people that you shared locker rooms with, people that you shared winning game with. I mean, that's gross disrespect. And when you look at some of his matches, he tends to lose his cool. So he might have the potential, but I don't see him rising to the very top. He just doesn't have the aptitude.
All right.
In my own opinion.
Perfect. You should have the attitude. That's what sport is all about. It's never about talent.
But-
we've seen that with the Black Mamba. It might not be the best when it comes to talent, but his workload, the way it works, his ethics showed, and that's why we can't stop talking about the Black Mamba up until today. Wale, I know you have something to say because we are pressed for time. We have to move on. Kachi, Patrick Mahomes, 50K pass yard. I'm not going to ask you anything. Tom Brady is 44 years old right now, and this is 22nd season in the NFL. Tom Brady, I don't even know. Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Muhammad Ali, they should be in the same class. We're going on a short break right now. When we'll come back, we'll be jumping straight into the best thing in the whole of the world. Before we talk about what is wearing a United jersey today? We'll start with United. All right, don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with you shortly. 4 games, 3 losses for United. Not a good one. We have the GOAT at the Old Trafford, back at the Old Trafford, and for some strange reasons, the results are not coming in. Overall, wasn't a bad game for United. Started brightly. Bruno Fernandes missing some chances. Greenwood making some poor decisions as well. And the unexpected happened. Martinez decided to get into the head of Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo at the same time. I've never seen Bruno with a worse penalty. This is a guy that's played 46 penalties in his career, scored 42, which is a good return, and blasting it up into the skies. That's unbelievable. Olale, I'm going to start with you because you are wearing a United jersey today.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Sport is all about you doing everything within the rules of the game to win. It got into their heads, especially Bruno. That's what they do in NBA. You trash talk. Yeah, it's part of the game. It's the psychology of the game. But overall, looking at the game, I think the United issue is still the same old problem. Team lacking a bit of identity, struggling to dominate possession. You see, ideally, when you play against smaller teams, you create the fear in them, but United don't create fears in other teams. You allow them to play. You couldn't see much of, I don't know, the identity is not there. How do we want to attack? And where? Yeah. And again, the issue in the central midfield is still there. It's still there. It's still a very big issue. And in such games, like me and Debo, I think we've discussed this thing on many occasions. There are some games that you don't probably need. I don't know the rationale behind McFred, because two of them. So the two of them struggles when it comes to initiating attack. Probably you can do with one of them, and in fact, if I'm what big coaches are known to solve this kind of problem, and that's why I give it to Carlo Ancelotti. You don't have to have a perfect. As a coach, you always have a perfect situation. Sometimes you look within and solve your problem. I think Donny van de Beek could have solved a lot of United problem when it comes to dominating opponents, when it comes to initiating attack. But especially in games against lower teams, you don't need to concentrate more. You don't need to concern yourself much about
defending. Yeah, exactly.
And for him now, I think the pressure is going to mount. People will ask him a lot of questions, considering the match that is coming up on Wednesday against Villarreal. It's a very difficult opponent. We saw Villarreal over the weekend against Real Madrid. Yeah. If you watch Carlo Ancelotti's press conference after the match, there was that respect for Villarreal. He said that yes, they had the desire to press, but considering how difficult Villarreal is as a team, they couldn't really do that successfully. So United will need to brace up. Solskjaer can't afford another terrible result. Because now you bought in a Sancho who probably has not lived up to his
expectation.
I will not be able to figure out a position for him. Why you see keeping Pogba on the left? You probably ship Pogba back into the midfield and figure something out.
For me, Olale, honestly, if you ask me, I don't know if Sheyi agrees with me. I'll go with Sheyi because he's a United fan as well. I see Michael Carrick playing in the center of the midfield with Paul Scholes. I don't know what year. Maybe it was 07.
Sheyi, Debo, sorry, before you go,
yeah.
sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah.
In 2007, between 2007 and 2019, we saw different combination. It doesn't matter. We saw Scholes Carrick, we saw Scholes Anderson, we saw Anderson Carrick, we saw Hargreaves Scholes, we saw Fletcher. So, and it's not a matter of who is a defensive. There are times you just have to be arrogant at times and just dominate opponent.
What I'm even trying to say is we saw ball playing midfielders, not defensive minded midfielders. And that's I'm trying to buttress your point with Donny van der Beek coming into the middle of the pack to help either Fred or Scott McTominay. It should be, there should be a balance, like you said, against smaller teams like this. Be arrogant a little bit, play these guys, overwhelm them with attack. And you could go. I criticized Arteta like a couple of weeks ago, playing only Thomas Partey in front of the back four, but you could go with that as well. But of course, Ole knows best, and Antonio Conte and Zidane are jobless right now, while Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a job. So, Sheyi, I don't know if you want to add anything to it, especially what Martinez did, dancing in front of the United fan, which I personally feel is disrespectful and provocative.
Anyway, I don't want to say much about that because that really didn't affect the game that much. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is becoming very predictive. And I think that is his problem at the moment. He has these players. We know that he has not been able to figure out a particular way to play, which is what Olawale was trying to say about identity. Okay, now, if you have that kind of wealth of stars, you should be able to use them to hurt your opponents.
Yeah.
But at the moment, he's very, very predictive. I think the game against Aston Villa, he lost it by using McFred. Let's just be sincere. Because totally, Aston Villa played close to like 5 defenders.
Yeah.
Playing Cash and this guy at the left side. You have Shaw and Target. Thank you. You have Shaw that will always pin them back because they know that Shaw can cause a lot of problems.
Problem for them.
And also, you have Wan-Bissaka that is, personally, I think Wan-Bissaka is the best defensive right back in the Premier League.
No.
So we know he cannot really attack, but when it comes to one-on-one
defensive ability,
defensive
is
quite good. So I think Pogba should have been moved to the midfield beside either. Anyway, I prefer McTominay. And bring in an additional attacking player to break down that defense. So I think that's where it got wrong.
Okay, all right, perfect. Kachi, I'm going to come to you now. Chelsea City last season, Chelsea were the husband, City was the wife. We had a reverse of this. Chelsea defended deep on the day, trying to play yet another negative football. And fortunately for City, they were able to break them down. Overall thought on this match?
My overall thought was Chelsea was pretty disappointing. Especially considering how high expected their confidence to be. Secondly, I was also really impressed with how Pep Guardiola set up his boys to nullify the potential threats that Lukaku posed to his team. Massive game plan and game plan execution. I think for the first time since Thomas Tuchel took over Chelsea, this was the first game where they had no single shot on target, which tells you how much they were nullified. I mean, everybody knew the channel was to get Lukaku the ball, and they deprived him. But another thing that came to me was, I think Thomas Tuchel knows the mental state of his boys. That's why he did not set them up to take the jugular or attack Man City with a careless abandon. He kind of knows that they are not yet in mid-season form, and the game came too early in the season for them. I don't expect this to be the same tactic when at the business end of the league season. But big kudos to City for slaying their demons. It would have been really, really embarrassing if the number over again. I mean, we know how much he tinkers. He did not tinker much. We have to. He stuck to his guns. He knew he had to eliminate the biggest threat, which was Lukaku. And I mean, Kante looked almost pedestrian, and it's very, very, very rare to see Kante.
If I may have one or two things.
Shay, unfortunately, you can't add anything. I have to
to this particular
right now. I have to move to Olayinka now. I'm sorry about that. Olayinka, Mo Salah 100 Premier League goal, 3-3 he ended for Liverpool on the night. How disappointed are you with this match? Quickly.
Yeah, I was quite disappointed about the outcome of the match because it was expected at the beginning that yes, Brentford, we know they beat Arsenal on the first day of the of the season. We were expecting a top 5 for them in their backyard, and especially with that young, terrific duo up front, Ivan Toney and Mbeumo. That's the combination to look out for in the future. They are young, strong, and intelligent. However, it was expected that no matter what, that Liverpool were going to be pushed to the limit. However, we're expecting that odd goal to determine the match. At the end of the day, wasteful finishing and a disappointing defensive setup, it cost Liverpool the match. I mean, Salah and Mane, they had 3 sitters in between them. They had 3 sitters to put the game away. Unfortunately, they missed it. That's why they missed them. That's why I've actually been advocating for a striker to join that team. Mane has been a bit inconsistent in the last one season or thereabouts. Then defensively speaking, I mean, it got to a point that I began to wonder whether Matip and VVD, whether they were actually playing that match. Because when you look at 2 of the goals, a lot of fans, a lot of people, they almost demonized Trent Alexander-Arnold for considering 2 of the 3 goals. However, a replay will show that it was isolated. For those 2 goals, it was isolated. It was like 4 attackers to him only. What could he have done? As such, I think Klopp needs to look at the shape of the team again. Maybe it's time for him to introduce Konate fully, to probably pair VVD. I mean, Fabinho did his best, but
that's not going to help you anyways. But of course, I agree with you 100%. Konate is logic. I don't know. He plays ball out of the defense pretty well. I'm not gonna argue with that. But let's see what he can do in the Premier League.
He's a younger version of VVD as far as I'm concerned. And until he's meant to be used in games like this where you're up against a championship squad that is strong and fast.
Yeah, exactly. I understand. And of course, Watford played a 1-1 draw against Newcastle. Everton continued their good run, and Norwich now officially for me are going to be relegated. They lost 2-0 again. And of course, Leeds United, I pretty much feel they will be in the mix for the relegation battle this season. They lost at home against West Ham 2-1. I know we spoke about this, Kachi, and we said even if he's playing against whoever, he's still going to stick to his guns. But as far as I'm concerned, it's about time he stops sticking to his guns and start learning how to manage games depending on the opponent. 2-1 loss against West Ham again. Kachi, I'm going to put all this blame at the front door of Bielsa.
Bielsa. And I agree. And this is the reason why Bielsa is not coaching a big name club, right? I think most of those clubs have found out that Bielsa is pretty stubborn and very, very, very headstrong. For all the flair and fantastic attacking, good to the eye type of football, Bielsa unfortunately does not set up his team to be pragmatic. Leeds is shaping out to be Arsenal in the latter years of Arsene Wenger, where you really, really need to play kick and follow football, you know, just eke out the results, not necessarily play the best form of game. It's 3 points. That's why Bielsa would not be coaching a big name team right now. I'm saying so because you see someone like Ancelotti, who took 2 steps backward by coming to Everton.
Yeah.
Because he's very amenable, has been able to go back to the upper echelon, the elite club.
Exactly.
Bielsa cannot have the same thing. So if Leeds find themselves involved in a relegation battle towards the end of the season, you are right in laying the blame at the foot of Bielsa. He sets up the team, he manages them, and he should take the blame.
All right, perfect. And of course, Wolverhampton Wanderers won against Southampton. Raul Jimenez scoring a wonderful goal, coming off his not so wonderful game last week, but they did pretty well. Jim Vardy scoring an own goal and scoring a brace for his own team as well. Drawing 2-2 against Burnley. And now I begin to wonder, Olale, it looks like, I don't know, Leicester City are they not in the reading yet? Or what exactly is happening at, I don't know the name of their stadium. What's the name of the stadium again?
King Power.
King Power
Stadium. Yeah. For teams like Leicester City, you expect this kind of thing to happen to them. They've started the last 2 seasons very, very well. Unfortunately, they didn't end it well due to injuries and probably the way they managed the season. I think their struggle this season has become a bit more obvious, a little bit unlucky with some of the results, especially with Brighton last week. I think James Maddison's struggle has actually affected the team. Now they don't even know their best 11. Vestergaard coming to Pierre, Soyun Chodam. It doesn't really look like the best.
They miss Fofana.
Yeah, they miss Fofana, and even James Justin. Bertrand at that left back doesn't. I think probably and this guy was good probably because he didn't start Maddison. I think he might probably in the meantime probably revert back to a 3-5-2. You have to trust the coach. What's his name again? No. What's the name of the manager?
Brendan Rodgers.
You have to trust him. You might probably have to bring in Kelechi Iheanacho at this game in time. Probably switch to a 3-5-2 and let's see what happens. But that's why I think Arsenal might have a bit of hope this season with Leicester Spurs performance. So far.
All right, perfect. And of course, we'll move to the game of the weekend. Arsenal defeating Southampton. Please, let me catch it. I don't like it. Please, let me be happy for once. Be happy for me. Please be happy.
I truly am.
I've exited so many WhatsApp because of banters. Let me be happy for once, please. And I'm going to come to you for the rest of the game right now. So Kachi, be happy for me for once. And I want you to go over the game. We all agree Thomas Partey is so important for Arsenal. Granit Xhaka coming back into the game. It's a derby. Honestly, Spurs have not been playing very well. So Arsenal fans should not be so joyous right now. They've not been playing so well. So, but your overall thought for the game?
My overall assessment is a game between 2 teams who are kind of like struggling. Arsenal seems to be the one that are very likely to dig themselves out of whatever mental block or hole they are currently involved in. 3 wins in the league on the bounce speaks to a recovering Arsenal team. 3 first-half goals. This is the first time Arsenal will be up by 3 against any of the top 6 teams in the last 4 to 6 years, if I clearly remember.
Wow.
Kudos to their coach. For some reason, I just forgot his name now.
Mikel Arteta.
Mikel Arteta, thanks for that. Kudos to him for tweaking his formation to play a double pivot this time around, as I guess putting only Thomas Partey. Having Odegaard, playing beside him gave a little bit of fluidity. And the hallmark of that game, of that double pivot, will be that cross-field pass that Thomas Partey gave to Aubameyang when they were 3-0 up.
Wow,
touch betrayed him. It would have probably been the goal of the game.
Yeah.
They dominated proceedings, even though Song scored a late consolation. I thought Arsenal were worthy winners. It looks like there will be a St. Tottenham's Day this season. It might be too early to say, but a big morale boosting win.
Awesome.
They usually don't get this kind of result. So kudos to you. I'm not going to give you any rib. I will give you all the credit. We've given you a lot of rib this season.
Thank you very much.
Because you do deserve it. Arsenal were worthy winners.
All right, perfect. I don't know if Olali has one or two things to say about the game before we move ahead to Italy, where Marosari is dishing it out to Mourinho right now.
Well, congratulations to Arsenal fans. At least there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's looking like that. In as much as I don't completely agree with probably the approach by Edu and what do you call it? Arteta, but you could see a bit of identity as in you could see a bit of that they have an identity, they have what they want to do, even though defensively they are still a bit shaky. Playing with when they don't have the ball, with the structure of the team still doesn't really look good, but attacking wise, it's very coordinated and purposeful. It's very promising, and these are very, very young players. For Spurs, I have my reservation. They've not been. They look like a team that doesn't even know what they want to do.
I reckon looks like someone disinterested in Tottenham Hotspur.
I don't know Ali's role or in that team. To be sincere, is he playing as a 10 or is he playing in the central as a third man in the midfield?
Yeah.
The whole structure of the team looks a bit confusing. Nuno, we need to probably find a solution as soon as possible. Probably we need people like Winks back. What's the name of this Dutch guy they have? That was
but Joanna was in. Yeah, he's out injured. He's out injured. Yeah. Anyway,
I just think he just need to figure something out. Conceding 9 goals in the last 3 matches, and you can see, and that's why we say in football at times, you just don't probably look at the result. Even when they were winning, just feel
exactly. Like the wins they were labeled wins. Yeah,
labeled against Wolves, they could have probably considered like 2 or 3 goals. So it needs to sort itself out, because I don't know whether he's going to have that enough time. They will give him that enough time to prove himself.
To prove himself. I'm going from player of the manager of the month to the first manager to be sacked. That'll be horrific if you ask me. And of course, we jump straight to Italy right now, where Juventus are still struggling, being Juventus. But fortunately, they won 3-2 against Sampdoria. And Lazio defeated Jose Mourinho 3-2. Sarri defeated Mourinho 3-2. In the Rome derby. Yeah, and of course, Udinese lost at home against Fiorentina 1-0. Victor Osimhen, someone needs to call him. He needs to stop scoring. He scored another goal again. 2-0 against Cagliari. Inter Milan came back to get a 2-2 draw against Atlanta, while Milan labeled to a 2-1 victory against Spezia, thanks to Diaz yet again. Kachi, I'm pretty sure you're happy about that. Diaz coming up with the goal for the winning goal for Milan on the night.
Yeah, pretty happy for the young lad. This is the second game running that he will be scoring a winning goal. He did the same midweek and also did the same over the weekend against Spezia. But a big shout out to the latest Maldini to play for Milan.
Yeah, Dana Maldini.
The young man celebrated his full debut for the senior team with a goal. You're right. It was a game in which they labored so hard to win. But like I was saying with Marcelo Bielsa, sometimes you need to labor and get the win.
Exactly.
You know, exactly. Because the Milan of the last 7 years during their time in the doldrums, what used to undermine them were draws and losses against teams such as this. Yeah. You know, the Hellas Verona. And the like Sassuolo, for 3 straight years, Sassuolo used to pick 6 points against Milan. That hasn't been happening in the last year or so. So a really big win. They sit
that's because you guys you bought Tonali away from them. Locatelli has decided to go to Juventus. You guys decide you buy out Asulo. That's just it. Don't feel like a robust guy here. You buy them out. And I'm not going to agree with you about that. Anyways, we'll move from there. We'll move to Spain, where Alaves defeated Atletico Madrid. Sheyi, what's happening with Diego Simeone? And what's happening with this? Because realistically, I don't know. It looks like I'm a devil. Like I'm pretty too harsh on Diego Simeone, but I can't reconcile it. Griezmann, Suarez, Lema, we should be having something entertaining from these guys, I don't know. I start to be corrected. And come think of it, Alves scored their goal very early. I think the goal came in the fourth minute.
And Atletico had up to like 72% of the possession in this particular match. And guess what? They were unable to, I think, created like 13 chances, like 13 shots, but they had only one shot on target. Now, like I mentioned last week, I think they're struggling with creating proper scoring chances for those two guys. We are talking of established strikers. Established.
Sheyi, that brings my next question. Why loan out Saul, who could actually play as a number 10 to Chelsea, simply because you want to play Saul as a center midfielder or as a defensive midfielder? It's illogical to me.
I think that deal is actually to sell, but probably because of the amount that Chelsea already committed during this particular transfer. They had to do a loan first, then eventually they do a buyout. So it was totally going to leave Atletico. But the point is, they had also Koke on the bench for this particular match. He had, I think, Correa on the bench for this particular match. Maybe he had one eye on the Champions League in the middle week. Okay. That's why I had to come up with that. Thomas Lemar was not in the team for the day.
Sheyi, there is no need for any Champions League excuse. The guy is massively struggling.
He is.
Just check their form. Check their form.
Definitely.
Even the midweek game, they struggled probably to end a draw. Was it to end a draw, probably to win the
I think they won.
But it was almost looking like they are going to lose. I think the bottom line is last season probably I don't know whether his whole philosophy about his whole approach to the game is now probably telling on his the ability of the team, or to figure out the way the team wants to attack. They are not just creating quality chance.
Exactly.
Their games look very horrible.
Exactly.
You don't even want to watch it. It doesn't look good.
Exactly.
And you have to give it today, but this time around, he saw this coming, probably even from last season. He's been saying it. And I think Diego Simeone, we have to do something. And what do you call it? The young man from that just came back from Barcelona, Griezmann, is probably struggling with his confidence.
With confidence as well.
Things are not just looking good for him. He needs to get. And unfortunately, this season is there for the taking. And
looks, Olale, if you ask me, I think this season, unless Madrid decides to be, I don't know, exactly. Madrid should win this thing. Olale, I'm going to come to you now. Ansu Fati got number 10 jersey, came back after 322 days, and the boy is back with a goal. Memphis Depay coming with scored the first goal via penalty. Luke De Jong with the second goal, and Ansu Fati coming with the last goal. Do you think this is going to be shaping up Barcelona a little bit? We know this guy is a massive talent, no doubt about it.
Yes, thank you for that. Ansu Fati, well, we saw what he's capable of when he first started. He's been touted as the heir apparent to
Lionel
the
Messi.
great Lionel Messi. But the truth of the matter is, those shoes they're not just too big. Those shoes might just be too much for him to feel. And the truth of the matter is, a lot should not be expected of the Barcelona team. They are now they're at a stage where they're regrouping. They're trying to rebuild. You understand? I mean, right now, to me, their best player is Depay. He's been doing a lot of things, and hopefully he can sustain that tempo. But Ansu Fati, we know he's loaded. He's a loaded player, and this season, yes, he's going to put in his own shift, but don't expect his shift to bring in like 5 goals a season.
Of course, no, exactly.
I'm not a pessimist, but I'm not too expecter.
Exactly,
I expect the team to gradually grow in confidence, to understand one another, because a lot of new players came in. He paid, for example, but Ansu Fati, expect him to give his best. Every day.
It's going to be unfair. It's going to be unfair on the kid to expect so much from him. You know, it's going to be unfair. But that leads me to my next question. We don't even understand what Mr. Ronald Koeman is doing presently. And the reason why I said so is in the game against Cadiz, they had a whooping. Oh, Lanka is going for some strange reason. Kachi, in the game against Cadiz, Barcelona had a whooping 54 crosses. And at the press conference, what Koeman could say is that when the crosses come in for Luke de Jong, he is better than Neymar. I can't reconcile that statement. I can't reconcile that statement.
But it's a simple statement, but Kachi can do justice to it. It's a very simple statement.
It's that every coach obviously has to stick out his or her neck, except the coach is Jose Mourinho, who has no problem throwing his players under the bus. But typically, every coach would have to stick out his neck, or in the case of female football, her neck for the squad. I thought that statement was really boneheaded, but of course, you have to give credit to the young man who can earn the kind of trust the coach has. I think Ronald Koeman is really embattled. I think all these talks about a potential replacement,
exactly.
For someone who has been used to the stability of coaching the Dutch national, where he is a hero, and even if they play him off, it will be over a nice cup of tea or whatever.
Exactly.
Coming to a high-pressured cooker such as Barcelona, I know he played in Barcelona, but the 1992 was not such a powerhouse as the Barcelona of today.
Of course.
So that is what is really affecting him. We've seen coaches fall to the pressure. If you remember clearly, the famous meltdown of Jose Mourinho, which I can't remember. He got to the press after losing for the opt-in time that season, and he just dissed everybody.
He said, respect.
But see, for Ronald Koeman, I just think he has actually struggled a lot to stamp his authority. Let me say, how do you put this thing? His handprint, like his ideas on the team. We are I agree that the team is short of probably talent,
quality.
But again, it is not, they are not short of talent not to be able to express themselves the Barcelona way. Let me put it that way. Not to have an idea. It is not the norm to just keep crossing. That game against Cadiz just
55 crosses.
They don't have the idea of what they were doing. Exactly. And I actually feel for Juan Laporta. If he has the money, he's not going to keep Koeman up to now. The only reason why Koeman is still on the job is they are looking at the financial implication of sacking him.
And just to put it out there, just for people to know that Koeman actually loves Barcelona. Koeman pays 6 million euros out of pocket to the Dutch national team for him to become the coach of Barcelona. And if Barcelona should sack him today, they will be obligated to pay him double that money, apart from his severance package of about 25 million euros.
I wanted to remind Wale, and I don't know if she is still there, of a certain Van Gaal in Man U, who also looked in almost 60 crosses in one particular game. I can't try to remember that game.
Wow, that's true. I can't remember that particular game, but there was one very
myself.
like that.
And you never stopped crossing the ball. They just never stopped crossing
And
it.
nobody was connecting.
I totally agree with you guys.
So I think it's the Dutch thing. It's probably, and don't forget that all these guys, they are all coming from the Louis van Gaal tree, so to speak. So something
of training.
Something exactly something. Oh, if this doesn't work, let's just try the direct
approach. And just to add to that, Gerard Piqué ended playing as a center back in that match. Like it's ridiculous if you ask me.
Forward, you mean?
Okay, center forward. I said back. Sorry, center forward.
He had a good chance to score and nick the game at the last minute. But if he was a natural center forward, he probably would have done better.
Honestly, it's a great departure from the Barcelona philosophy. And even if you look at Koeman, when he was at Southampton, he introduced the Dutch/Spanish philosophy, the one-touch football. But also when he now starts telling them to throw the crosses in, that might be the sign of a desperate man.
Yes. And of course, Valencia played 1-1 against Athletic Bilbao. Real Betis defeated Getafe 2-0. Real Madrid managed a 0-0 draw against Villarreal. Going to Germany, Friday night, Bayern Munich defeated Greuther 3-1. Bayer Leverkusen defeated Mainz 1-0. RB Leipzig that could not get the result over the past 2-3 weeks decided to show themselves and defeated Hertha Berlin 6-0. He ended, and it was a poor homecoming for Rose when he traveled back to Borussia Mönchengladbach. They lost 1-0 on the day, even with Haaland, Jorena, and all the stars they had could not help them in the day. And to the more interesting one that happened in Portugal, Sporting Lisbon defeated Maritimo 1-0, and the goal came through Pedro Porro at the 98th minute of the match. What an outbreak for Maritimo on the night. And of course, Lens that now has the former coach of Lille defeated Marseille 3-2 away from home. A good one for Lens. And Paris Saint-Germain won against Montpellier 2-0. But to the interesting thing that happened in the night, Kylian Mbappe was complaining bitterly, I think to Angel Di Maria, if I'm not mistaken, that Neymar refused to pass to him. Absheyi, it's not a conspiracy. I know you don't like conspiracy. You don't do conspiracy, but I'm still going to come to you because you don't like conspiracy. That's how I'm coming to you. Is there cracks in this thing? Ego clash, so to speak.
Debo, we should expect that. This is a team loaded with stars, everybody with big egos. And even in Real Madrid, that is not even up to that. Last season, there was a situation between, Benzema and
Vinicius.
Vinicius Junior, thank you. So let alone the likes of these egoistic big stars. So there's a possibility of a mini kind of crack in the team. Okay. But at the same time, these are professionals. These are top professionals. I think they will handle themselves. Meanwhile, we know there is possibility of Mbappe actually leaving the team.
Yeah, so, Mbappe is leaving for sure.
Exactly.
And just to put it out there, Sheikh Mansour has already come out that Man City should do whatever it is that they can do to get Mbappe to City. It's going to be a big one. Mbappe's heart is set to go to Real Madrid, but with money, anything can happen. Ask what's his name again? Alexis Sanchez. Okay, the final. And of course, we move to the preview of the Champions League right now. A lot of games will be potentially happening on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. Madrid against Sheriff. Sheriff they did a surprise last time, defeating Shakhtar Donetsk 2-0. So it's not as simple as we think it is. Olayinka, it's not as simple as we think it is. Madrid versus Sheriff.
What?
A potential upset.
Oh, no. I think Madrid should take this one. They have the experience. They have the players. Sheriff, yes, they've been they've been doing imaginable things. They've been making money. They've been making money. I'm sure that was like we guys said some couple of weeks ago that the number one reason why they'll be excited about this is the money making aspect of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they won their previous match. They now see themselves as contenders. But hey, Real Madrid is going to bring them back to earth. And I see a victory for Real.
All right, perfect. Olale, Shakhtar Donetsk versus Inter Milan. What are we expecting? Shakhtar, but Inter is actually going to Ukraine this time around, and Inter are not in their best of.
This is a very tricky match for both teams. Both of them coming off a disappointing game in game week 1, especially Shakhtar.
Yeah.
Nobody expected them to lose to Sheriff. Mm-hmm. Inter Milan lost to Real Madrid towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, they had a 2-2 draw in a very exciting 2-2 draw with Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very tough game. I think both teams, considering what is at stake, will probably rather play not to lose than going for it. I'm probably going for a draw in this game.
A draw. All right, yes. Perfect. All right, perfect. Kachi, I'm going to come to you to the best game of the weekend, of the midweek. Probably. Messi might not feature in this game due to injury. PSG, the 2 money bags. PSG versus City. This is happening in France anyway. So.
Mm-hmm. I just read just while I was researching, I read that Pochettino is pretty optimistic that Messi will be fit just in time.
That would be great.
So we hope that happens. We always want to see the best players. But I think right now, City is a better oiled machine that operates almost on cruise control than PSG is. Mm-hmm. We've talked about the many struggles that Pochettino is currently experiencing, managing that ego. We're already beginning to see the cracks. We already have Mbappe. I hope that for their sake and for the sake of the neutrals like me, they put aside their differences and give us a great show. But I still think whatever happens, I still expect these 2 teams to come out from the group. So it really may just be for pride and also to determine who tops the group.
To avoid the big boys.
That's to entertain us. PSG may want to be a bit more aggressive considering the disappointing result they had on game day 1 against Club Brugge.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. Sheyi, I'm going to come to you. Milan versus Atletico Madrid. Milan are going to be in San Siro. Atletico are struggling. Milan grinding out the results.
I think for this match, if you put the 2 teams side by side, I think Milan is in a better position to hedge this particular tie. Also, putting in consideration they'll be playing at home. Also, in the league, they've not been bad at all. We've seen Atletico blow hot and cold, but mainly cold. So definitely, I think Milan should be able to get this over them, especially that they've lost the first match to Liverpool.
All right, perfect. Olayinka, Porto versus Liverpool at the Estadio Dragão or Estadio Dragon, or what's the name of that stadium?
It's gonna be a cracker. But first of all, what else do you expect me to say? It's gonna be an exciting match. And Liverpool, they've shown a knack for playing a more cohesive game away. They are usually less adventurous, and I don't see them deviating from this style. They're going to go there. They're going to line up in not a defensive structure, but they're going to be more cohesive in their play. And I see them nicking it. Porto, obviously, They're going to come out. They're playing at home in front of their fans in their magnificent stadium. They want to win the match, given the fact that even the first match wasn't that palatable.
Yeah.
But I'll tip Liverpool to edge this one, and
All
I
right.
see Mo Salah
Scoring yet
punishing them
again.
again.
Yeah. As it goes now, Olali, I'm going to come to you. As it goes now, I think by the end of Mo Salah's career, Mo Salah will probably be ahead of our own Samuel Eto'o. I strongly
One of the
feel
most
so.
underrated players in the world.
I strongly feel so. I actually feel he should, if not because of the poor outing Liverpool had last season, he should be on the podium come December. But Olale, still staying with you, Dortmund versus Sporting Lisbon. Lisbon lost 5-1 to Ajax. Mad game one. Any hope for Lisbon this time around against Dortmund, considering they are going to the black and yellow stadium?
Yeah, they had a terrible game on match day one at home. They made Sebastian Haller a superstar. A superstar. Well, they need to react. They need to react. But going to Dortmund is not going to be an easy place for them. Dortmund lost at home over the weekend, but I just think Dortmund will have enough firepower in front. Haaland,
yeah.
the young Jude Bellingham. They just have enough. I think they just have enough to see off Sporting Lisbon. Yeah, I'm seeing them winning at least probably by 2-0 or 3-1.
Okay, all right, perfect. And of course, Kachi, Ajax versus Besiktas. Ajax, they are going to be at home, playing against Besiktas. So, do you think it's going to be an easy ride for them against the Turks?
I think only Ajax has the propensity to beat themselves because I expect them to do better. Not because they are way better than Besiktas, but Ajax somehow always know how to play and punch above their weight. But we've also seen them implode on games we expect them to win.
Exactly.
Yeah, I will say yes, I expect Ajax to win it, but I will be very happy to come here next week to say I was wrong because I've seen Ajax implode in the past. But on the night, I think based on what they did on game day one, we expect Ajax to win. And then at the end of the season, we expect them to lose 4 more people to other teams. So
other big teams. but lately, Ajax have been selling poor products. Donny van der Beek is not playing very well. The late
is down to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah, the late has not been playing very well for
Juventus.
Juventus.
He scored the goal. The late is getting the goals now.
Okay.
He's in the Italian league better.
Okay.
You can never knock the products that come from Ajax.
What about Akanziek?
Ziyech has a fracture, so let's give him the benefit of
Okay, I'm not going to go to the 2 United fans because I know they are going to bully Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I'll go to Elanka for this one. United versus Villarreal.
United. Okay. Honestly, as of now, United they could be going through a crisis after the episode over the weekend. It could swing both ways. The incident might spur them into coming all out against Villarreal and going for the 3 points. At the same time, it could cause dissatisfaction amongst them and the beginning of the clash of the egos. But as it were, when you look at it historically, Villarreal defeated United last season final. That might come to play. However, looking at the performance of both sides so far, Villarreal they've not been that good, they're still trying to find their feet this season. United, I see United coming out, and the continental experience of CL7 might be maximized there. United to win this match.
All right, perfect. What I want to hear on that day, I like when the commentators say it. Crisis, what crisis? I hope that comes into play for United on the day. And of course, Olale, Juventus versus Chelsea. I think Chelsea should win this.
Yeah, it should be a straight up win for Chelsea. I think Juventus have not been in their element. Apart from the Malmo game they won, on Mike the one. We've not really seen the team performing optimally up to their this thing.
Exactly.
But again, when it comes to two big teams playing like this, sometimes forms doesn't really matter. Pride is at stake. Everybody
Yeah.
just wants to rise to the occasion.
Morata may come back to say you sold me.
Yeah,
I'm
there
gonna
are some,
punish you.
and there are some of connection in that team, especially Jorginho, Lukaku. They have a CIA history. I think I'm sure they have a bit of history with some of these Juventus players.
Yeah.
So, by and large, I just think Chelsea looks a bit more formidable. I just hope they can get
right.
they can probably recover early enough from their horrible show over the weekend against City. Because
if they don't continue to play their defensive, their defensive football that have been able to
for
get
this,
away with.
I think I'll probably give it to Chelsea. But for the game, I'll probably want to see. I don't know how long is the American guy has been a bit unfortunate with injury. I'll probably want to see more of Christian in front with
Lukaku.
Lukaku and probably Akanji or Akanji. I think they can stretch defense better
and give Lukaku the kind of supply that he needs.
I think that what I saw over the weekend was just too compact for me, not too much of creativity at all. And
but honestly,
I expect them to react.
Yeah, but honestly, Wally, if I'm being sincere, I understand that he won the Champions League. I'm not going to argue about that, but that's the way the guy has been since he came to Chelsea, playing a disguised defensive football, shadowing.
Indirect. Exactly. I think I have to agree with you. But I think that one is partly due to the fact that if you look at the way we've been raving about the Chelsea defense, I think it is more of a system thing, not really about the individual at all.
Wait for it till Rudiger goes to Real Madrid. I will understand. Is it not the same Rudiger that played under Lampard? I agree with you. It's a system thing, not an individual thing. And that's a wrap for the show. Thank you very much for staying tuned with us. Thank you very much, Aliola and Kashi and Kachi. Till we meet again next week. Don't stop supporting sport. Follow us on all our social media handles at News Sister 1 on Twitter, News Sister on Instagram, and News Sister Sports on YouTube. Thank you very much, guys, and have a wonderful day ahead. Bye.